Welcome to DCL Radio. You're listening DCL Talk Show. All the games went well. Most exciting games are there, and as well some dominance performance and some upset. I don't know whether we call those upset anymore, based on the performances. But to bring most exciting discussion about weekend games and the predictions, we have three wonderful gentlemen here. One is our regular analyst, Dinesh. Dinesh, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
We have two other fantastic people here. One will be joining at 9:15, and one is already here, who is very exciting guy, and very treat to watch him when he's on song, especially when he's back. Welcome to the show, captain of the Spartans, Chanakya.
Thank you so much, Jagan Konda. Thanks for having me here. Hello to all the listeners.
Okay, and Rajesh, captain of Phantoms, will be joining at 9:15. So straight away we'll get into our show. We'll start with our first game of the night: Strangers versus Patriots. Dinesh, do you call it upset?
No, I think I won't call it upset because last week I believe I might have predicted for Stingers to win this one. Just based on the pure fact that they are a seasoned T-ball team. They practice regularly around the Farmington area. So by no means this was an upset. I was expecting it to be a lot closer game. So this happened in Novi Power Park 6. So this seems to be batting first have won 4, batting second have won 3. Even Stevens at this point, there's nothing much to choose. Stingers won the toss and elected to bat. They didn't play last season, probably part of the reason. The opening partnership, nothing much to discuss for the first 4 wickets. And eventually, for the 5th wicket, Jagan and Raghavendra, they put 58. Then Jagan and Chalam, they put on 11 for the 6th. And Chalam and Sarjan, they put on 24. So Jagan played really well, which is, again, no surprises there. He's a seasoned DCL and T-ball player. So Jagan scored 36 of 64. Raghavendra, before that, Sridhar actually supported well. He just scored 1, but stood with Jagan after the opening partnerships didn't go well. Then Raghavendra and Jagan played well together. So Raghavendra 28, then Chalam scored 26. So the Chalam finish was pretty crucial with 162 strike rate. Stingers ended up with 105 for the loss of 7 wickets. That's actually par, right on par. So the par score for the first innings was 105. From a bowling perspective, Balaji and Sri Sura were the notable contributors there. Balaji bowled well, 5 overs, 12 runs, 3 wickets. Sri Sura, 4 overs, 8 runs and 1 wicket. So yeah, as I said, it was par score. So Patriots had to play well, apply themselves. Which did happen, to be honest, is like the opening partnership between Balaji and Ganesh was like 18. So they did decently well, nothing much for the second wicket. Then for the third wicket, they strung a decent partnership between Ganesh and Nitin with 19 runs. Then after that, there was another partnership for about 16 runs. Then again, Kondal, that the 6th wicket partnership of 15 was pretty good as well. But after that, they lost track a little bit. Then Venkat and Trinath tried to save some grace there at the end. But with 12 runs, that was not enough. So Patriots ended with 87 with 4 overs to spare. They still could have pushed, but all of them got starts and just didn't go through well. Ganesh played a decent hand. Balaji, Nitin, and Sainath. So all of that's what it is. Like again, Ganesh 10, Balaji 12, Nitin 20, and Sainath 19. All of them got good starts, but the big difference here between the first and second innings being Jagan's 35 versus none of them getting it here. Bowling performance. Chalam bowled well, 4 overs, 11 for 3. Yeah, 11 for 3. Then Jagan 4 overs, 15 for 3. Then Mohan contributed well, 3 overs, 7 runs, 2 wickets. Then Nilay, 3 overs, 11 runs and 1 wicket. Overall, pretty comfortable win at the end. My analysis is like the T-ball experience might have gotten over some leather ball experience from Patriots. So man of the match was Jagan for this game. No surprises there. Jagan is a pretty seasoned cricketer around here, so yeah, he did really well. Congrats to Jagan and Stingless and Alago.
I'm really surprised when you said Strangers have more T-ball experience than Patriots. Patriots, they made it to playoffs. If I
Yes, sir.
remember, a couple of weeks, a couple of years back, and
Yeah, true, true,
they have really seasoned players there. Yet
true.
they are not gelling together. So
Yeah,
let's.
exactly. Yeah, that's the kind of thing which I at the beginning when I said there's a lot of practice which goes into stingers. By no means I'm building them up or whatever, but they regularly practice. That's what it is, and they might gel together. The big folks of stingers. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the next game of the night is the most anticipated. Everybody thought this is the game they wanted to watch, and in fact, Sterling Strikers team, they worked with committee whole week to get they wanted to live stream this one. So
All
um,
right.
yeah, that though it turned out to be in favor of Indus Thunders, because a champion is a champion always. But the most uh, happy thing for me is, my I have two favorite players in Indus Thunders, Dinesh Devaraj and Chetan Dushyant. And
Okay.
Chetan Dushyant fired in this match. s- Historically, if you look at Chetan Dushyant, especially with respect to Indus Thunder's team,
Uh-huh.
um, they they have been using Chetan as opener or somewhere in the middle, somewhere at the end. Personally,
Uh-huh.
I wasn't happy because Chetan, he opened when probably when they won first time and second time,
Yeah.
and I see, some personalities are always, if you look at them, you feel very happy. Like Chetan is that
Yeah.
kind of person. When you look at
Yeah.
him, he's always smiling, and you know
Yeah.
so uh seeing him giving that performance made me really happy. And with that, Dinesh, sorry, I took little
Oh,
time.
no, no problem. I have a nickname for Chetan. I call him Abdul Kader. I think
Hmm.
I think that sort of a lot of people might not know Abdul Kader. People should the days of YouTube should go and search for Abdul Kader. Why I call Chetan Abdul Kader would be evident from those videos. Okay, again, the most anticipated game of the week, at least. That's how we built it. We couldn't call it, but again, we thought that Indus's experience over the years might get them over the line. And somehow, Sterling Strikers too. So some big games they might have. I don't want to call them chokers, but Indus Thunder seem to have a little bit of a better record over the big games. Was my thought. Sterling Strikers won the toss. They elected to bat. Unfortunately, our man Dinesh Panditi, third ball, he got a wicket of Raza Ali, I believe Ali and Hassan Ali, not Raza Ali indeed. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Hold on, no. It was. I'm missing it. He got Ali out, then he got Syed out of the last ball as well. So first over made with 2 wickets. Yeah, that's not the start what Sterling Strikers intended. But again, Dinesh did what Dinesh did, and heard from someone that Dinesh lost more weight and is extremely fit, dangerous signs for the league, I believe, for the rest of the opponents. Um, when it comes to Sterling Strikers, they didn't get off to a good start. Obviously, 2 wickets. Then they did Hassan and Raza. They did put up a decent third wicket partnership. They did recover really well with 25 against. Indus bowling was pretty good. Fourth wicket between Raza and Haider, they had a nine run partnership. Then Mohammed and Haider for the fifth wicket, they put up 17. Then Mohammed and Haider again, there was another partnership of 7 later on. Then for the eighth wicket, Syed and Haider put on 29. So Haider pretty much batted through the innings with all the partnerships. Pretty much the last 6 partnerships, Haider Bhatti did what he's known for. He did hold the innings together. Uh, big mentions here. Hassan, 11 of 34. Then Raza Ali, 17 from 32. Hyderabadi, 22 from 37. So he held everything together. Then Syed Mustafa, then another 17 at the end. So they ended with 89. Uh, Decent enough compared to their bowling attack. By no means below par score. Absolutely. I mean, they could defend it, is what they would have thought at that point. And then bowling, as I said, Dinesh is like 5 overs, 12 runs for 3 wickets. And Manoj Singh, our ever reliable Manoj Singh, is like 5 overs, 13 runs for 2 wickets. Then Chetan, 5 overs, 17 runs for 2 wickets. So yeah, three big performances from the all-time performers, and they did well. So second innings, um, India started off really well with Aniruddha and Naresh. They put on a decent enough 12-run partnership against a very good bowling attack from Sterling strikers. Then Srikanth and Aniruddha had a decent enough partnership again of 12 runs. Then they might have lost their way a little bit. Panditi came one drop. Srikanth and Sandeep, all of them didn't click too well, but the patient and experienced heads of Manoj Singh and Chetan, as Jaganana was mentioning. So Chetan, yeah, they just calm right at the crease, and they eventually got that home for in this with a victory of 5 wicket victory for them. They had at least it was close to 23.3 overs. They did get it to the penultimate over and won it, but end of it, you have to say it was a comfortable win towards the end, even though there was a little bit of a hiccup in the middle.
Okay, and the next game of the night is Knights versus Spartans. And before we go to Chanakya, I would like to welcome our another guest, captain of Phantoms, Rajesh. Rajesh, welcome to the show.
Hey, good evening, guys.
Okay,
Hello,
with that,
Rajesh.
we'll quickly go to Knights versus Spartans. Chanakya.
Perfect. Thanks, Jagan Garu. This was a really exciting weekend for us from Team Spartans starting off DCL. I think last week the analysts gave us a 3-0 edge against Knights, so that gave us a timely boost as well. But it was a beautiful day in Northville, really sunny in contrast to kind of the weather that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. So that was a welcome sign for us. Knights won the toss in this game. They elected to bat first, which I think we would have as well if we had won the toss. That's how the pitch and the weather was looking. I think initially the game started off quite well. Maybe a bit of early season jitters, rust from our side. There was a couple of dropped catches in the outfield. Not too many runs were leaked. I think the initial partnership between Krishna Chaitanya and Santosh was about 16 runs in the first couple of overs. But overall, we were able to wrestle back some of the control. Vivek Verma got a couple of key wickets early on in that phase. I think 1 or 2 wickets during that phase to kind of limit them to around 33 for 3 at the break at the 12-over mark. Even though I felt the runs were less, overall, the mutual feeling across the board was that neither team had maybe wrestled over full control of the game. Maybe a couple more breakthroughs would have helped us there. The second half was a bit more contrast, a bit more of cloud cover coming in. I wouldn't say there were any huge runs scored in each of the overs, but Knights did a really good job kind of putting together those small partnerships. The partnership for the third wicket again was another 12 runs odd. They had another 15-run partnership for the fifth wicket, and then once again towards the end they had another couple of 10+ run partnerships, kind of just putting together. So it was like runs were kind of leaking through without us quite knowing. And in the second half, we almost gave them 49 runs in the next 13 overs. Even that being said, around 82 runs, we felt it was quite chaseable. We would have expected in DCL that it's a under par score overall. to start off, especially in games where the weather is good. Some notable contributions from the Knights included 10 runs of 29 balls from Rajat and 13 runs of 19 balls from Ramesh Devarapu. And from the Spartans bowling side, Vivek Verma ended up with quite good numbers: 4 overs, 11 runs, and 3 wickets. And Hiren Patel, who actually was debuting in the DCL this last weekend, ended up with 3 overs, 11 runs, and 2 wickets. Going on to the chase, well, this was quite a roller coaster of emotions, I would say, for us. We started off quite brightly, started scoring runs with confidence, but then I think drizzle slowly started. People started looking towards the weather forecast. People started looking towards DL par scores and all those. Maybe we lost a bit of focus, but we had a really bad start from there. We kept on giving away wickets quite easily, I would say, to the opposition. Satish put up 10 runs out of 18 balls. But outside of that, it was quite a poor performance, I would say, in terms of maturity from most of our top order batsmen. Khalil from Knights team bowled exceptionally well, and they actually had us at 38 for 8 at one point in time. And there was 2 overs, back-to-back overs from Khalil, where I believe he gave 1 or 2 runs, but took 2 wickets each in each of those overs. So those strikes were really damaging for our team in terms of for Spartans in terms of chasing this total. At 38 for 8, I'll be honest with you, we were looking at bonus point calculations. Is there any way that we can salvage anything out of this game? And we were really lost at that point in time. A really brilliant partnership from Abhishek Singh and Vinil totally pulled the game out of the hat. We never even expected this to happen. We had confidence in Abhishek and Vinil to maybe get us to the 69 run mark and get us a bonus point. But getting the win was a really a thrilling game for us. Abhishek played extremely well. He ended up 33 not out of 35 balls, 1-4 and 1-6, and he was supported ably by Vinil, who was 9 not out out of 12. Once again, call out to Khalil Syed, amazing bowling, 5 overs, 6 runs, and 6 wickets for him. So he really was almost the game changer. Um, 2 points that maybe contributed towards Abhishek and Vinil pulling off the win. One, Khalil unfortunately bowled out all 5 of his overs by the time we were 38 for 8. And second thing, there was a bit of drizzle, bit of rain, outfield was wet, and Knights had about 3 or 4 dropped chances that if they had took, maybe the match wouldn't have gone that far. So really a thrilling win to start off DCL weekend, but a good win to get some points on the board.
Okay, congratulations. And the next game of the night is Strikers versus KRCC. Strikers coming off from a great win from first week, and KRCC losing to Stars very pathetically. And this was, people were looking at this game, carefully watching this game, what is going to happen with KRCC. And they turned it around completely on Strikers. Your thoughts, Chanakya?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, Jagan Garu. Absolutely. Last year, Strikers obviously played quite well in the playoffs. That big upset against Glads in the first round. KRCC, as we all know, they went all the way to the finals. But big changes, obviously, within the KRCC spectrum. Everybody's talking about the team getting divided and other changes happening there. So very intriguing. And as you said, it was a complete role reversal happening this last weekend between the teams. Strikers last weekend, great win. For the weekend before that, great win to start off DCL. KRCC kind of seemed like the team division maybe had thrown them apart, and maybe they would not have a good season. This week it was a completely different show from what we saw the previous weekend. Strikers won the toss. They elected to bat in this team, but I think they were just overwhelmed by the extraordinary bowling from Tamemoni. What an extraordinary spell! 3 overs, 5 runs, and 5 wickets. And if you just look at the fall of wickets, they were 0 for 1, 1 for 2, 2 for 3. You might get confused between which ones is the runs and which ones is the wickets.
You're
That's kind
correct.
of how
Yeah, you're right.
that's kind of how the wickets are falling there. They kind of stabilized in the middle a bit, a couple of 10 runs partnerships when Parthiv stepped in, and then when Shreyas's wicket fell as well, they kind of pieced together some runs, but way below par score, especially considering the strength of the team that KRCC has. Strikers were only able to put up 32 on the board on the day. No partnerships at all. Nobody was staying at the wicket. I believe they only played 10 overs, and that's, I think, the biggest thing we all know in DCL is that the most important thing is to play out the 25 overs, and I think that's where strikers kind of failed a bit. And one more important thing that kind of popped out to me was even in the 32 runs that strikers scored, 11 of the runs were extras. So that
Wow.
just showed what a dominant bowling performance it was from KRCC. I really think they're trying to put a stamp on it, saying that they're back and they're not lost in this year's DCL. Once again, chipped in by Ronak, who bowled only 1 over but got 2 wickets, and then Mohaimin, I hope I pronounce his name correctly. He also chipped in with 3 overs, 16 runs, and 2 wickets. And I don't think I have to tell too much about the chase. Quite a clinical chase from KRCC. The first wicket itself had a 26-run partnership between Hemant Bharadwaj and Lincoln. Hemant put up 16 runs and Lincoln put up 9 runs to start things off. And then I think they just finished things from there onwards. Vivek from strikers got 2 wickets, but I think it was just maybe a consolation at that point of time. Really clinical win from KRCC and really stamping their authority that they're a team definitely to be reckoned with for 2022 DCL.
Yeah, very well summarized. Next game of the night is Hawks versus FCC Agni. Hawks is a new team. Your thoughts, Rajesh?
Thank you, Jagan. This is my first time. Bear with me. I might be a little unconventional.
That's fine. None of us are professionals here, so have fun.
Thank you. Thank you. When I'm looking at Hawks, as you said, they were a new team. How they were batting. I saw some decent batting, especially from Amarnath. I love that kind of batting, especially supporting a batsman who is in full form. Obviously, Vikram Reddy was in full flow. The way he was scoring, somebody needed to be a strike rotator. I believe in that personally with my team, and I think Amarnath played a very good role, other than Vikram being the star performer for their batting. So overall, my when I saw the score 1 or 2, I think it is a psychological factor plays in. If somebody scores over 100, within my little DCL experience, I think they consider that as a good score. They say over the par or something like that. So 102 is a very good defendable score. Unfortunately, when I look at FCC Agni, they did not do the same way. Given the experience they had, they would have done a much better strike rotation and can easily win, but they couldn't do it. And again, Vikram came back again. His bowling was phenomenal. 4 overs, 13 runs for 5 wickets. That's like a captain's dream. So I mean, Vikram stole the show, both with batting and bowling. I believe he's a captain's dream player for anybody would love to have a person like that in a team, both doing batting and a bowling. So kudos to Vikram for starting off with such a great performance. I believe it's their first game. So
yeah, their first game, Hawks' first game. Yes,
I think they started off in a flying colors. So kudos to them.
Yeah, let's hope for the best for them. And the chase, you see, even though FCC Agni, they could manage to score only 81. They definitely have very good batters on their side, especially with Arun back from India joining FCC Agni. I'm sure they'll do good in future. Is there anything you have to add to this game? can we go to next game?
Please, yeah, no, I don't have anything else.
Okay. The next game of the night is FCC versus Motor City, and this is what I thought. So I thought FCC will win very easily because Motor City is a coming back team, but you know they have to gel a lot because most of those are new faces. Um, Giving away 151, something expected, but scoring 101 is an awesome performance is what I believe for a newcomer. Your thought, Rajesh?
Jagan Garu, when you said a new team, I take a lot of pride in new teams because we are like uh, a new team or like kind of this is our second year. If I was in Motor City's captain shoes, I would say I would 100% agree. Playing with a very strong team, FCC, scoring like one or two, and that too they played all the 25 overs. That's the key thing.
25. Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
that's it.
I agree with
Yeah,
you on that. Yeah.
and then they still have one wicket with them left, and they're still fighting. That
Hmm.
shows they're they have like a good plan. And unfortunately, yeah, they're not on the winning side, but definitely all kudos to Motor City in this game. I know they did not get any points, but I think they have good games ahead, and they will definitely show some wins on the scoreboard.
Let's hope for the best. The next game of the night is Troy Hawks versus Dynamites. Dinesh, Troy Hawks
Yeah,
are. Do you think they are in the challenge? They are in the hunt
Troy.
for a cup.
Yeah, I think Troy Hawks finally they are showing their experience, and I mean I expected, honestly, I was expecting a little bit of a closer game than this, just under the from my heart, right? If not from my mind, from my heart, I was expecting Dynamites to bounce back better than this. It was not a bad game for sure, but I was expecting a lot closer game because Dynamites didn't do well. Rajesh and company did give them a big run for their money. Well played, Rajesh, on that one. Congrats. Yeah, so that's what I was expecting from. Yeah, sure. So that's what I was expecting from Dynamites. But again, Troy Hawks won the toss and elected to bat. Natarajan Rakesh, the opening partnership didn't do too well, but Pradeep and Nataraj, they strung together. They put together another 13-run partnership for the second wicket. After that, nothing much. They fell a little bit. They lost their way, but again, as Jagan Bro pointed out, Sarath did play a pretty decent hand with Amit to sort of play a little bit of a recovery partnership for the fifth wicket of 18 runs. Then Chaitanya, he is racking it up as a good all-rounder nowadays. Chaitanya and Shashidhar, if I pronounce that right, for the seventh wicket they added 29 runs. Then Abhilash and Kaushik, that was the game-defining partnership. At that point, for the ninth wicket, they ended up scoring 30 runs. So big performances here. Nataraj 11 out of 19. Then Amit 13 from 24. Then Shashidhar 18 from 27. Chaitanya, then Kaushik 24 from 17. Abhilash 10 from 11. All of that. So they ended up with 106, as Rajesh Bro was pointing out. In DCL, yeah, anything over 100 is game on. The chase is going to be pretty difficult, especially if you don't get a good opening partnership. In the first innings, bowlers to mention for Dynamites, Murugan bowled well, 5 overs, 14 runs for 1 wicket. Then Venkat, as usual, 5 overs, 15 runs for 3 wickets were the standout performers. The rest of the bowling were not up to the. I mean, I would at least say were not up to the standards, right? So they could have, maybe there's a little bit of a bowling emphasis needed for Dynamites, maybe. So the second innings, they were chasing with a target of 107. Arun and Satish, they opened. Arun, unfortunately, after the game, I was talking to a few of the Dynamite players. Like Arun might have picked up the sole fielder on the leg side, is what I heard. Deep square leg is what I heard. Chaitanya took a good catch, is what I heard too. So again, Arun didn't get off the mark, but there was a decent partnership for the opening stand of 12. After that, there's nothing much to talk about. They lost the wear. Then again, there was a very good partnership of 30 odd runs, 34 runs between Venkat and Vijay Kumar. Vijay Kumar, last week, Vijay Kumar Gabriel, as I had mentioned, a young kid on the block. The future of DCL is how I see him, and he strung together a decent partnership with Venkat. But after that they just couldn't finish the job. Nothing much from there. Then Venkat got out. Then eventually Vijay got out as well. Then there was some partnership which went on with Karthik and Vijay. My bad. So Karthik and Vijay Shanmugam, actually, not Vijay Kumar. So they had a 10-run partnership, but eventually they folded for 86. Big performance for Dynamite's batting. Satish did well with 12. Then Venkat took 22 of 36. Then Vijay Kumar 20 of 29. They're getting there, so we'll see what Dynamite have in store. They too are putting together with a couple of players leaving and stuff. So Dynamites are redirecting their campaign after whatever has happened mid-season, post-season, I should say. The big performers here for Troy Hawks in bowling: Abhilash, 4.4 overs, 4 wickets for 11 runs. Then Rohit bowled well, 2 overs, 7 runs, 1 wicket. Kaushik, 5 overs, 19 for 1. Then after that, Sarath is back to bowling. So it's always good to see Sarath bowling. He's a wonderful way to watch with bat and ball. So Sarath did well, 3 overs for 10 runs. Man of the match was Abhilash. I mean, if you look at the net result, it was a comfortable victory for Troy Hawks. They did show I can't say experience between Troy Hawks and Dynamites, both experienced sides, but on this day, Troy Hawks performed better. Probably to say as expected, I suppose.
So the only thing, as Rajesh pointed out, both the teams, they did not play 25 overs. That is the only negative thing out of this game.
Yep,
And
agreed.
the next game of the night is Gladiators versus Dhairya. This is what we expect from Gladiators.
Yes.
They always kill their opponents in the regular season and don't know what happens in the playoffs. Okay,
That's
your thoughts?
Jagan Garu,
that's what.
sorry guys. Jagan Garu, we were there last year. We know how Gladiators are, so just sharing it.
No, being there, I think I was the keeper for the highest ever DCL score till date, I believe. I was the wicket keeper that day when we conceded the highest score ever. I don't want to say which team conceded it, though. So I've been on the receiving end from Gladiators quite a few times. Okay, Gladiators won the toss and elected to bat. Obviously, no surprises there. Udit and Taipur. Probably the opening partnership it was not a great partnership, but eventually they recovered. Then Udit and done with Udit scoring 42, then done with scoring 13. Then Fahimul Islam, he came and he scored 64. Game-changing 64, I would say, with a strike rate of 172 with 7 sixes and 2 fours. That's like, I was talking to another captain on the sidelines. I had just gone there for a little bit to binge watch, and I was talking to one of the other captains around there. Then he's like, "Yeah, if you keep feeling those days, it's the end of the story." I mean, feel bad. I mean, nothing against Dhairya. They did. That's Gladiators. What can you do? So then Azhar with 18 of 17, it did support later on. Then Ganesh and Shivam, they scored 14 and 11 respectively with their mammoth 198 runs for 7 wickets. nothing much to write home about for the bowlers. The most economical being Sandesh Gandhi, 4 overs, 23 runs with the 5.75 economy. The rest of them all went over 6 economy. But Suhail Hassan as well, shout out to him with 3 wickets, and Sachin Bamne with 2 wickets as well. So those performances, we need to applaud that in such a big run feast. So, yeah, tough, feel bad for Dairya. It was like they had their task cut out coming to the chase. The opening partnership didn't go too well. Shivam looked like he had bowled really well. Then Chandrasekhar and Satyajit, they put together a very good partnership. Chandrasekhar scored 18 and Satyajit scored 20. So then after that, nothing much, all single-digit scores with Keshav showing a little bit of resistance along with Arpan. But end of it, they did fall for 64 in 21 overs. As we've been talking about, that's the big plus I see. It's like them batting 21 overs. Eventually, probably they will work themselves out. So from a bowling perspective, Shivam 4 overs, 10 runs for 2 wickets. Done with bowled well, 3 overs, 16 for 1. Then 5-4, 4 overs for 10 runs. Then Satya 5 overs, 16 for 1, and 5 Mohd Islam for 5 wickets. That was an incredible bowling spell. 5 overs, 12 runs with 5 wickets. He broke pretty much the batting order of the area. So congrats to Glad and Dairya. Better luck next time. Keep working and keep getting stronger.
Okay, the next game of the night is SLCC Guardians versus GLCC. Chanakya, your thoughts on this game?
Absolutely. So SLCC Guardians, obviously coming from their parent club, the Legends, against GLCC. So quite a good game, I would say. Youngsters versus kind of an experienced team in GLCC. SLCC Guardians won the toss and they elected to bat. Quite a good decision because their initial opening partnership between Ravitej Pujari and Sandeep started off really well. They were 30 without loss in the 80th over. Ravitej putting 11 of 19 balls and Sandeep 13 of 30 balls. Not the quickest pace, but building up a good opening partnership, I would say, for them to really launch their score. But that's when things really seem to go out of hand for them. Excellent spell from Samish Kilam, 4.4 overs, 19 runs and 4 wickets. And Pradeep Kalmat, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 17 runs, and 3 wickets. Completely disrupted Guardians' top order and middle order. They fell all the way from 30 for no loss to 38 for 6. And I think that's what really disrupted their innings overall. They ended up only putting 83 on the board, which on these kind of wickets, this kind of weather is kind of under par, I would say, as we've been discussing throughout the day. Reaching at least 100 in the 25 overs is a good score. So 83 was a bit below par. The only reason why they reached that 83 was a very good knock from their captain Sudhakiran, who put forward 24 of 41 balls, really kind of anchored the middle order here for Guardians. Well supported by Giridhar, 9 of 20 balls, and Kaushik as well, who scored five runs in his brief innings. So overall, quite a rescue act there from Sudhakiran to put 83 on the board. Coming to the chase, GLCC would be expected to be able to chase the score down. I was going through the replay, and it was kind of a disaster start, I would say, for GLCC. Tejas almost got out on the second ball of the innings. He almost ran 2 runs, almost got run out. Luckily survived, and then ultimately a couple balls later, he hit a really short ball to deep mid wicket. And unfortunately got out. So not the greatest start for them overall in terms of GLCC's chase. But from there, it was the maturity showed. They really started putting together some really good partnerships. Two key partnerships, I would say, Ashraf and Sudeep for the second wicket, 34 runs, and then Sandeep Gopinath and Dilip Patel putting another 30 runs partnership there. So those two partnerships really sealed the game for GLCC. Not the easiest of chase, took them 21.5 overs. They lost 7 wickets, but in the end, they made their way home. Good contributions. Ashraf, 15 of 38 balls. Sudeep, 20 of 30 balls. Sandeep Gopinath, 15 of 28 balls. And Dilip Patel, 11 of 17. So really key partnerships there. Difference between the two teams, I guess, was kind of forming those partnerships and making sure that they stayed at the wicket. In the end, GLCC's maturity kind of came through here for them in terms of chasing down the score.
Yeah, so I was at the game. I mean, I played this game. So the difference between Guardians and GLCC is just pure experience. Other than that, Guardians really played well, and they have capacity to surprise some good teams. If they can surprise any of the top teams, I mean, which we consider as top, until game is played, we don't know. If they can surprise, yes, they have a chance to make it to playoffs. And the next game of the night is Guardians brother GLCC Legends versus SLCC Legends versus Thunderbolts. Chanakya, your thoughts?
Absolutely. Another interesting game, both teams that we've played against in the past. Thunderbolts won the toss in this game. Surprisingly, they went ahead and opted to bowl against Legends. Legends, of course, kind of looking to bounce back from what happened the previous week for them, losing against Troy Hawks. Obviously, any game that Legends go into, their expectation is possibly going to be to win the game. And of course, last season's memories must still be with them. They must come back with a vengeance this season, I guess, especially losing out in the first round against Kings 11. Legends really started off the game not too well. They lost Praveen quite early in the going. But from there onwards, they were really able to kind of piece together some good partnerships overall for them. Good contributions from some of their key players that we expect. But even then, I think the scorecard at the end kind of showcases maybe not the full picture of their match, because they posted a very strong total, 119 for 8 in 25 overs. Very good contributions from Sai Pratap, 25 of 35 balls, Harish, 43 of 41, and then Guru Naga, 14 of 12, and Sai Gautam in between, 8 of 8 balls. So the middle order really clicked well for Legends. They did not have a good start at the top of the order. They were 21 for 4, something that I don't think they would have expected, considering the quality of batsmen they have. But the middle order really stabilized from there onwards. The 119 score looks quite large, but looking back at the replay, they were only at 65 for 5 at the 18 over mark. So once again, I think really a good showcase that if you can play the 25 overs in DCL, you really have a good chance of putting up a great score. Excellent innings from Harish and Sai Pratap there, and good finish from Guru to really make sure that they can bounce from 65, almost doubling their score in the last 7 overs. From the bowling standpoint, from Thunderbolts, I don't think they had the greatest day. Prabhat Krishnamurti, 3 wickets. Salim, 2 wickets. Riaz was the only one who had a economy rate of below 4. So that itself was not a great show for them. They consistently were leaking runs on the day. And even though they got some timely wickets here and there, I think the middle order partnership between Sai Pratap and Harish, and then Harish and Guru, really took the game away from them in the first innings. The second innings was a clinical performance, I would say, from Legends, as expected from them. We all know that they have quite a strong bowling lineup. Thunderbolts fell short, 72 for 9. They did play all 25 overs, but unfortunately, they were not able to really get the score going. Lost early wickets. Naresh gone in the first over, 1 for 3. They had a couple of partnerships there. Vinod played quite well, their captain, 16 runs of 19 balls. And then they had a couple of resistance in middle with Aravind, 17 of 42 balls, and Vivek, 11 of 21 balls. But other than that, I don't think they ever really were able to get a grip into the game when they were chasing 119 against a strong Legends team here. As expected, I should say, Guru Naga, 5 overs, 15 runs, 3 wickets. Sai Pratap, 5 overs, 11 runs, and 2 wickets. But completely reverse in terms of what we saw with Thunderbolts. Everybody from Legends had an economy rate below 4 in their case, and most of them were 3s, 3.5s, and some even had 2s and 1.5s in terms of their economy rate. So a really clinical performance, a bounce back win from Legends. Interesting to see how they keep going in this year's DCL.
Very keen observation at the bowling front by you. Thank you. And the next game of the night is Hitman versus Local Boys. Your thoughts, Rajesh?
I guess this was one of the games I was watching and following it very closely. I would say this is a nail biter, especially because I know most of my Local Boys team. When I want to start off with the Local Boys bowling, if I can. So when I look at their bowling, Satya, I know him personally too. He's a cool guy. In any game situation, he has that level head, and he started off well. Like he got his opener like on the first ball, which is a great start. And as they continue to do well with their bowling, when I see their bowling, there are a couple of overs by Thani and Kalyan. They gave 10 runs each when they're like good bowlers were bowling very well with an average of between like 2 and 5. They should have stick to their own regular bowlers than trying something different. Those 2 overs which gave like 20 runs made the difference in the game. End of the day, Local Boys lost the game by 13 runs. And then again, when I see it, as a new team, Local Boys were new this year, if I'm not wrong, and they should stick to their good bowlers and rotate it. Hopefully, they will absorb something like this going on in their future games. But if they did it, the result would have been something different. No disrespect to Hitmans, they played really good. We had one of their captain got like 37 out of 49 balls, which is amazing. Going in the middle of the order and getting runs like those is not easy, and he did very well. He did the captain's role. And again, the other opener you have Ram Kumar, he did a good batting display too. 20 out of 25 balls, which is a good start. When you lose an opener for the first ball. Overall, I believe Hitman have a better experience and have their better strategy compared to Local Boys. Being a new team, they couldn't execute their plans very well. Hopefully, they would do better in the future games. Definitely good shout out to Satya, who's Satya and Raja, who was batting very well in the middle. Senthil Kumar, who was again 23 runs in 29 balls, in the bottom of the order. That is super nice. Hopefully, they will do very well in the next games, and they will have some wins. But even though Hitman won the game, all kudos to Local Boys. They fought till the end of the overs, and they gave us a thrilling game, which is very interesting.
Yeah, see, I mean, if you look at the extras, Hitman gave too many extras, 21 extras out of those
That is
100
true,
runs.
Jagan Garu.
Yeah,
Hitman have 21 versus 18 for Local Boys.
18. Yeah,
Yeah.
and see, I can say Local Boys lost this game because of those extras.
Yeah,
And
true.
yeah, and
The
those 2 overs, as you said, each over costed 10 runs. That's a bad move. So maybe
and The other observation for Jagan Garu and Rajesh Bro is Satya opening the bowling. I think is he the only spinner opening the bowling, taking me back to the Deepak Patel days from New Zealand.
I think he comes diagonal, and he has a good wicket to wicket bowling. And
no, that's what I'm asking. I think I've not seen a spinner opening the bowling in DCL, at least in my experience and what I've seen. Probably Jagan Bro knows better. The first over from a spinner, that's what I meant.
So no, with IPL in full swing, anything can happen with the young teams.
No.
So
that's what I said. No, this is old tactic from New Zealand in the '92 World Cup, 50 over World Cup.
Before we go to predictions, the last game of the night is Pokhris versus Detroit Titans. I expected this game to be very close, but apparently, Pokhris captain had a different strategy, and he literally, dominated this game. Your thoughts, Satya? Sorry, Rajesh.
I mean, they're pokeries, and they did what they had to do. Let me tell you that way. They dominated on all like parts of the game, like in every department. I have to say, yeah, I agree, Jagan Garu. Like you have Satish, who is like good all rounder, like from Detroit Titans, and then they have Mayur, who is another like a good batsman. I mean, their batsmen did not deliver it for them. But like Pokeries, like we played them last year. They're very disciplined, and they did like a good, well-oiled team will do. So that is how their game was. So all kudos to Pokeries, and I believe like Pokeries will win, and they won the game.
Yeah. Okay. And is there anything you want to add to that game, or can we quickly jump to predictions now?
I'm good, Jagan Garu. That is all I have on them.
Okay, let's quickly go to the predictions and sorry, give me 1 second. I'm opening. So I got it. Okay, the first game of the night is Indus Thunders versus Spartans. Okay, I'll leave our Spartans captain here. He don't have to Chanakya, you don't have to pick this one. Remaining two, we'll talk to them. Dinesh.
Oh yeah, this one is like personally, I want our man, a big fan of Nadeem Khan. I wish there's a big show from Nadeem Khan, and obviously our man Chanakya as well have been on the receiving end from both of these guys across various leagues. So I wish these two fire and give a tough fight. Again, I'm going to be bold and call it for Spartans. See what happens.
Oh, you're calling Spartans. Cool. Good. Okay. Rajesh.
Hey, Dinesh, bro, I have to agree, man. I want to give Spartans a shout out. I mean, they will definitely make some wonders in this game. I know Indus Thunders is a great team, but no disregard, like, Spartans will have some sparks and they will win the game. I'm rooting for Spartans.
Oh my God. So now I definitely have to take some inputs from Chanakya, your thoughts when these two guys said you guys are going to win. What do you say?
No, I'm really excited for the weekend. Indus is a team that we know very well. We respect very well as well. I've played with Chetan, Dinesh, Vijay, Varma, a lot of the players on that team. They're definitely champions. We all know that. So we're kind of modeling ourselves against them. I wouldn't go as far as say they're kind of role models for us in terms of what we're trying to do with our team as well. So I really appreciate the support. We'll give it our best this weekend. Really excited, and I'm smiling brim to brim based on the comments from the other analysts.
Okay, the next game of the night is Knights versus Motor City. This is a nice game. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think by all
yeah,
means, this might be the game of the week. Is my prediction next week.
true, true, true. Two new teams, and definitely they'll have their energy there, and they'll put their full energy. That's what I'm guessing. And
Yeah.
okay, I'll start with Dinesh. Who's
Yeah.
going to win?
So Knights and Motor City, two new teams, but there are a few of them who've already played DCL across different teams. So I feel Motor City might have a little bit of an edge compared to what Bhargav and his experience is. So I will give this one to Motor City.
Oh wow. Okay, you're going totally against my thoughts. Okay, Chanakya. Chanakya.
Absolutely, two new teams. I think it's going to be an exciting game. Both of them have not yet won a game this season, so I think they're both looking for that first win for 2022. I'm going to agree with Dinesh. I'm going to go for Motor City as well.
Wow. Rajesh.
Yeah, I think I have to disagree you both, and I want Knights to win this game. So just because my last name starts with a K, so I want Knights to win. How about that?
No, there
Something has to be there to call. Okay.
there are some friends in Knights for us, Rajesh Bro. That's all right.
Okay, that's fun. Okay, good. Now, the next game of the night is Raptors versus FCC. Um, Raptors should win this one very easily, is what I'm guessing, and I'll start with Dinesh.
Yeah, I think this one has got to go with Raptors, and we've seen it. And last year we had a close game with them, but still, Raptors all the way hands down is what I'm thinking. Hopefully, it's not hands down; it's a lot closer game, but Raptors.
Chanakya.
I would have to agree. So the only way to stop Raptors would be by stopping their batting. I'm not sure if FCC can do that, but I'll have to go with Raptors.
Rajesh.
I agree. Raptors all the way.
Raptors all the way. The next game is KRCC versus Stingers. Okay. Okay. Oh, Dinesh.
Yeah,
I know you're going to say Stingers.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I'm reading your mind there. Okay.
Yeah, you know why? Because with all the build-up, I mean, not against Patriots, the Patriots versus Stingers game, with whatever I've been calling them, it's like, yeah, Stingers is what I am going to go.
So you're going with Stingers. Okay, Chanakya.
I'll split the vote here. I'll go with KRCC. I think they have some good players, Tamimoni and others. I'm putting their onus on them to pull this game out.
Rajesh.
I have to agree with Dinesh. Stingers for this game. I had some good friends over there, but I know how they play. If it is their day, I think they can turn the game towards Stingers and have a win on their side.
So this is what I'm thinking. KRCC going to repeat their previous week's performance. Okay, they are going to totally dominate this game, is what I'm thinking. Okay, and the next game of the night is Local Boys versus Detroit Bulls. Local Boys versus Detroit Bulls is going to be one of the exciting games. Dinesh.
Yeah, I think this one I might have to call it for Local Boys. Detroit Bulls and Local Boys pretty much 8 and 9 in the table right now. Both have no wins, but just with sheer experience, as Rajesh Bro has pointed out, I think the bowling lineup and the little bit of tweaking to the batting lineup, we all know from the previous year what they did, a few of them. I think they need to reshuffle the batting order a little bit. I'm calling this for Local Boys.
Local Boys. Chanakya.
Both of the teams, as Dinesh mentioned, haven't notched a win yet. Both, in fact, have leaked over 100 runs in the games that they've played till now in DCL. No disrespect to Local Boys, but I just know the Detroit Bulls bowling lineup better. I'm thinking that they're going to make a comeback and restrict the runs in their next game. I'm going to go with Detroit Bulls.
Rajesh.
I would go with Local Boys. Here is my take. They were fired up. They had a good game, even though they did not win. I think they'll put their 110% for this game, and they'll definitely make a win for their team in this game. So hopefully, local boys.
Okay, it is 2-1 local boys. Dynamites versus Thunderbolts. I, in my
I'm not
opinion, this
calling
is
this
going
game.
to be very, very close game. So you don't
I'm,
want to call this?
yeah, I don't want to call this. Sorry.
Okay. I can call on behalf of Dinesh. He wants to
Yes, yes.
tie. He wants a tie here. Dynamites,
No,
Thunderbolts, 1 point
no,
each.
yeah, 1 point
Mm,
each, please. Yeah.
1 point each. Chanakya.
I'm going to go with Dynamites for this week. Again, they've had 2 tough losses in a row, but they had a really sensational season last year. I'm a big fan of Arun and the way he plays. My expectation is that they're going to make a comeback sometime soon. So I'm going to go with Dynamites.
Rajesh.
I have to disagree with my friends. Thunderbolts I'm rooting for Thunderbolts. I will tell you
Thunderbolts.
my reasons. Dynamites, yes, they are like a fantastic team. Like Chanakya said, Arun is exceptionally a good player. He can turn the game. But I did not, when we were playing, like I did not see the same team they were like last year's. I know there were some changes. I know personally some Thunderbolts team members. I'm rooting for Thunderbolts this time.
Okay. So Thunderbolts. The next game is Safaris versus Detroit Titans. Wow. Titans are really struggling. Dinesh.
Yeah, I think with that, I'm going to call this for Safaris. I've seen them played against them, and know a few players, and obviously Rajesh and I's first captain Venkat for his sake, going with Safaris. Not just that, and with what Venkat Pro just mentioned, Titans, I think. Need a little bit of warming up there, so just calling it for Safaris here.
Safaris, okay. Chanakya.
Yep, I'm going to agree with Dinesh as well. I think Safaris for this game. I feel it's going to be very close though. Detroit Titans, they haven't had a good start here after all the team changes that have happened, but I'll go with Safaris for this game.
Rajesh.
Yeah, like Dinesh said, this is the Safaris is my old team. That is where I started my DCL. So
Me too. Me too. Me too.
Okay.
Safaris all the way. Like I know them. We played like a lot of matches recently too. So you have Rahul, like their superstar, if I have to say. I mean, yeah, they have a good team, and I think they will win comfortably, if I have to say.
Okay, let's wait for the result. And the next game is Hawks versus Detroit Badshah. I think Hawks will win this one. Your thoughts, Dinesh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hawks, with whatever our analysts have mentioned here too. So, yeah, just going with Hawks and looking at the table. I have the points table open. Looks like Hawks. I'm going to go with the Hawks.
Chanakya.
I'm going to agree with Dinesh. I know a lot of players on the Hawks team. Good young team, very exciting players. I think they're going to pull out the win.
Interesting. Rajesh.
I agree with my fellow friends. So yeah, Hawks all the way.
Hawks all the way. 3-0. The next game is Patriots versus Guardians. It's going to be it's going to be a very good game. Dinesh.
Yeah, with whatever, like Guardians again, I think they're feeling aware. New team, Satish and company. We wish well for them, but Patriots. I'm trying to settle scores and get on the better books of Patriots for this one.
Chanakya.
I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I think Guardians haven't started off that well. They haven't gotten a win yet. But at the same time, I feel that Patriots might not have found their feet yet in this season. I'm going to go with the underdogs of the Guardians for this game.
Rajesh.
I had to go with Guardians just because of looking at the previous games they played, and Patriots gave. I believe like Patriots bowling was on the weaker side. They gave too many. So yeah, I'm sticking to Guardians. I'm sorry.
No, if Patriots come back with the same team, even though they lost, if they come back with the same team, I see Patriots have experience when compared to Guardians, but the difference between these two is Guardians. I felt like they have more chemistry. Patriots are yet, they are yet to build that chemistry. But if I have to take a side, I'm taking Patriot side for this game. The next one is SSK versus GLCC. Dinesh.
Oh, tough one, right? SSK with that close win. I'm going to go with GOCC on this one. Experience.
Okay. Chanakya.
A really tough game to call. SSK has a extraordinary bowling attack, I should say. GLCC, everybody knows, great team. I think just by a pinch, GLCC might take this game, but I'm expecting a close game between the two teams.
Rajesh.
GLC is top of the team. I'm like a board. There is a reason why they are like on the top of the board. So I'm going with them.
You going with whom?
GLCC. Yeah.
GLCC.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, so I think, again, sorry to interrupt, Charan, bro. I think after Knights in Motor City, this is the second game to watch for, along with the next game.
Yeah. The next game of the night is Legends versus Pokeries. And this is going to be the elite game, showcase game of the weekend. Dinesh.
Yeah, that's what, as we said, Knights was Motor City. If you called one end of the spectrum, the other end of the spectrum, Legends versus Pokeries, both greatly experienced side. I am going to call this one bold and go with Pokeries on current form.
Okay. Chanakya.
Tough game to call. I would say I feel that whichever way we go, we're going to go wrong. Two extremely strong teams, especially from the bowling standpoint as well. I'm going to go with the Legends for this game, but I think, again, quite a close game. We're most probably going to be wrong either way.
Yeah.
Rajesh.
I would go with Pokeries, given their experience and how they play. I had like some first-hand experience, so I never played with the Legends, and no disrespect for them, but Pokeries for this game.
Okay, Pokeries 2-1 edge. The next game, Gladiator versus Dark Arches. I think Gladiators 3-0. Any objections there?
No.
Okay.
No,
With that, we have concluded tonight's show, and let's hope everybody enjoyed this show from the listeners. I have a lot of messages. They are saying you guys are rocking, especially all three analysts. There are a lot of kudos from all the people, and and I would like to say thanks to all three of you. You have done wonderful job, and I'll conclude the show by taking last words from you. I'll start with Dinesh.
Yeah, last words from me is like one thing obviously is like T-ball experience matters is what I want to conclude this show with. The ball does matter, and T-ball experience does matter. It's a different ball game. The field, the angles, and two different power plays. All of that. DCL T-ball is a different ball game.
Okay. Chanakya.
Absolutely. I just wanted to take a quick moment. Thanks, Dinesh. Thanks, Rajesh, and Jagan Garu. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I've heard DCL radio multiple times, but this is the first time that I got a chance to speak as analyst on the show. I agree from the T-ball standpoint. I think two most important things that we keep telling all of our teams. One is play the 25 overs, and then I think the second thing is play as a team. Right. One person can make a difference on a day, but I think teams that have played together, know each other well, their combinations are already figured out. I think those are the teams that are really seeing the success.
True. Chemistry is the key. Rajesh.
Thank you again, Jagan Garu, for the opportunity. Thank you, guys. Dinesh, bro, I know you for a long time. You have some And Chanakya, you have some very good thoughts, and I learned a thing or two from you from this talk show. So my two things for like a DCL. Firstly, I believe no matter how skilled you are, if you can't control your nerves, that will be that will be your downfall. That will be your weakest link. So controlling the nerves is the most important thing I believe in. Hopefully, I do that like a day in day out, regardless of how tough situations we are in. Try to control your nerves and be in the game and play a good game of cricket instead of being a rushing in and choosing a bad shot. And the other thing is playing 25 hours. That's the key thing. That's the most important thing we believe in. We practice it day in day out, and hopefully that should work out for us. And hopefully we as the Phantoms will win some more games this year. And thank you again for the opportunity.
Very well said. Live in the moment and plan to play 25 overs. Okay,
Absolutely.
mantra to win. Okay, thank you all three of you guys. And with that, we will conclude tonight's show. Good night.